Hey everybody, welcome to Go Bold. My name is Jody Atariwala and I'm your host. And I am coming to you today from HMCS Regina, one of Canada's surface combatant warships. We are in the Pacific Ocean right now and I am joined by Sailor First Class Connor Bostwick. Connor, thank you so much for joining me. It's great to meet you, and right behind you are some Hammerhead Unmanned Surface Vehicles.
Right.
Before we get into talking about them, I like to get to know the people that I'm interviewing.
For sure.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. What made you join the military, and what made you pick the Navy?
Right. So I have a little bit of a military background. Both my parents were in the forces. My mom was Air Force. My dad was both Navy Reserves, and then he did a little bit of time in the regular force in the Army.
Okay.
And my brother joined up too. He was Navy a little bit before me, so I always saw it as a potential path for me. I didn't always think I would end up here, but here I am. And I do like it a lot. I had a little bit of history. I always liked learning about older warships, like World War II warships, and I figured I'd always regret it if I didn't sail on a warship when I was younger and still physically capable. So I wanted to get the experience while I still could.
Oh, that's awesome, and you're enjoying it.
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. And so, what is your position in the Navy, Connor?
I'm a naval electronic sensor operator.
Okay.
So you'll find me in the ops room, and my main job, most of the time, is managing the electromagnetic spectrum. So all of radars as well as optics attached to the vessel. I don't operate the radar, but I do control the emissions, like an MCON policy, if you've heard of that, the states.
Right.
The other main job that NESOPs do is we fire the 57 main weapon, as well as the harpoons and the Sea Sparrow missiles once you get a little bit higher up. That's at P1, Petty Officer First Class, and the officer rank, the above water warfare officer.
Interesting. Okay. And so now, how does your trade relate to what's behind you, the Hammerhead drones?
Right. Well, any trade can take the Hammerhead course to become a qualified operator, so it's not limited to just my trade. I just happen to be the trade that shoots at them too.
Okay.
But yeah, that's their main job, is their targets to be shot at, to simulate what it might be to be attacked by a small fast craft attack vessel.
Right. So that's like the FIAC threat.
Right, exactly.
Right. And so, now tell me a little bit about how these drones are controlled, where you control them from, and then if, maybe we could just kind of walk around one of them and you can point out some of the features.
For sure. They're controlled by a main console up on the bridge. I can control up to 4 surface targets at once if we needed to. And it's like a mouse and keyboard situation. I click and drag the controls to turn or throttle up and down.
Okay.
And I have, for visuals, kind of like a tack plot on my screen where I can see Regina and I can see the Hammerhead, as well as any of the other participants with us. Like, for instance, today we're firing with John Paul Jones and Arleigh Burke and Benito Juarez. So I should be able to see them on my tack plot for when they're doing their firing runs.
Excellent.
Should make it a little easier to avoid hitting them.
Right. And so you're able to control these, like you said, with a mouse and keyboard.
Right.
And so you basically, I'm assuming, operate these drones such that they're not an easy target to hit.
Correct.
Right? You want it to be a realistic threat.
Yeah, I can load in like a mission pattern, so it will, without my input, just run an attack course, so I can sit with the person in charge of the firing to lay out a course, or control it manually just to set up some weaves to try and dodge incoming fire.
Right. Interesting. Now, are these drones or these unmanned surface vessel targets specifically, do they have different capabilities or different different attachments that can be put onto them
Yeah.
for different reasons?
Yeah, exactly that. You'll notice on the top hammerhead, right at the top there's a big white box. That is a radar reflector, and that's going to help make the hammerhead an easier target to see with our fire control radars. Other payloads, we call them, include a strobe light, and that can simulate like muzzle flashes for gunfire, like people on board the craft firing at the vessel. Or there's also an infrared attachment, so we can simulate like a fire control radar flashing up like they're about to fire a missile or a larger main gun at us. You can also use that in terms of maintenance for your fire control radars. If you need just like a hard target to lock up for a while, you can have a hammerhead out there doing that.
Fantastic. So typically these are meant to be attritable drones. Like basically you launch them and the primary role is to shoot at it and sink it.
Correct. Yeah.
But I guess for some of those roles that you want to just test sensors or what have you, you can recover them.
Typically we don't. As soon as it's launched, it cannot be recovered.
Oh,
it shouldn't be recovered.
It shouldn't. And part of that is because these drones, these unmanned surface vessels, are operated by gasoline. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
So,
and we don't know. Like even if we didn't shoot at it in the water, something may have happened while I was driving it around in the water, and it may be unsafe to bring back on board.
Right.
We don't know the status of it once we put it in.
Right, exactly. Okay. And so these are launched, I guess, by the crane that's behind us?
Yeah.
So
the same people that will launch the rib, the bosuns, they will also help me out by launching the hammerhead later.
Okay, wonderful. And so today, what we will see a little bit later is a serial where, as you mentioned, a number of the ships, including the one that we're on, HMCS Regina, will be shooting at these targets.
Yep.
Fantastic. Is there anything else about them that's interesting or that we haven't discussed yet, by chance?
There's a way you can. I mentioned earlier that you can have up to 4 hammerhead targets controlled by one console at once.
Right.
They link up with aerial unmanned targets as well, and you can kind of relay them off of each other, where you have the aerial targets sort of acting as an extension for the range of the hammerhead, so you could go a little bit further out with the hammerhead. Say you wanted to shoot at a further distance.
Right. Okay. So that's interesting. So these are controlled. I guess in essence, what you're sharing is that these are controlled to line of sight.
Pretty much.
And so if you have an unmanned vehicle, it can act as a comms relay to control these further away than line of sight.
Correct. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Right. So we could open up this panel on the back so you can get a look at the engine. Just got to take off a couple more pieces. 1 and 2. Okay. Alrighty. I think I forgot the front one. Okay. So this is an older hammerhead. This is the version 1 because this whole top cover is one piece. The newer hammerheads are 2 pieces, so you can kind of get at the important part, which is the engine in the back, without having to take off this whole panel.
Right.
Not too heavy, just kind of cumbersome.
Right.
So in the back there, you'll see the engine. It's a Merlin 240.
Okay.
And then up front is the control unit.
So this is the control unit there.
Yeah, the module.
Okay. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. Cool. So the rest is just empty, and it's
empty space.
Right. Meant obviously to be positively buoyant and
as positively buoyant as possible.
Yes, right. Fantastic, Connor.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's super cool.
No worries.
And actually, so I haven't asked. I guess you're buttoning it up here.
Yeah, for sure.
how fast can these Hammerhead drones go?
Right. So, in perfect conditions, we're talking like really, really calm water. These things can go up to 40 knots, which is pretty quick.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so again, it's representative of what a potential target or a potential threat could be.
Right. Like those FIACs.
FIACs. Right.
Right.
Right. Fantastic.
Right.
Super cool. I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna help you grab that.
Thank you. Oh, there we go.
Oh, you got it.
She's on.
Oh, perfect.
And this is the Hammerhead control, where I control it from. Mouse, keyboard, walkie-talkie to talk down to the boat deck when I'm launching. And then a headset just for communicating with the officer. Can see it all there, control it all here, and goes out to 2 antennas on the bridge wings.
Well, Connor, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me and for describing what these Hammerhead unmanned surface vessel targets are. And yeah, totally looking forward to seeing what happens later on today.
Yeah, likewise.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only thing that can survive is most definitely an aircraft. Yeah, and that's only like back. Yeah. That's also a good way of getting on. Probably a little bit against the really? Doesn't count closer?
Slow ahead both
Vector
engines.
wing, hangers out, flight
Slow ahead
deck,
both
quarter deck,
engines.
out of bounds. Weapons firing in progress.
Hammerhead sucks.
Both engines slow ahead set, sir. Very assertive.
Pretty sure play the boat went flying in the air.
That's a miracle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alright, keep an eye on
was that the first parachute?
There's parts of it still floating.
It's on smoke.
Oh, it's on fire.
Yeah.
Or slush?
Alright,
Yeah, visually it looks like there's still part of it floating in the fire.
Roger, yeah, we're doing that with the optical system. Do you have a comms there with the Roku operator number 5?
WDO.
No, they're not closed up.
Okay, Roger.
When I was turning over with Lieutenant Kenny, he was telling me that if we have an intention of using the 50 cows to let the deck on down.
Okay, Roger. Yeah, we don't. We're just curious about the camera.
Roger.